On the morning of July 18, 1944, near the village of Cagny in Normandy, the day began like countless others in war. Smoke in the air, grit in our teeth, and fear sitting heavy in our lungs. Inside our Sherman tank, it was cramped, scorching, and deafening. The engine throbbed under our boots, and our hands gripped cold steel that we all knew wouldn't save us from what was coming. I was one of 5 men crammed inside an American-built machine, painted in olive green, and loaded with promises we had already learned were lies. Our commanders back in England said the Sherman could face anything the Germans threw at us. But we had seen the truth. We had seen what happened when a Sherman met a Tiger. That day, 4 German tanks appeared across the field. 70 tons of armor, nearly 8 inches thick, armed with an 88 gun that could kill us before we even knew we were being targeted. Our own 75 shells might as well have been stones. Running wasn't an option. Hiding wasn't an option. Dying seemed like the only option. Then our tank commander, 21-year-old John Gorman from Northern Ireland, stared straight at the Tiger and said something none of us could believe. "If the gun won't kill it, we'll ram it." We thought he'd lost his mind. Nobody rams a Tiger. It's suicide. But seconds later, we were flying downhill at over 40 miles an hour straight toward the monster. Toward death, toward history. People laughed at him when he said a Sherman could outsmart a Tiger. Then his plan proved it. Before that moment, before the battlefield, before the Tiger, there was just a quiet boy from Northern Ireland. John Reginald Gorman, born February 1, 1923. Not big, not loud, but sharp, curious, and always analyzing the world around him. He studied at Portora Royal School, the same school Oscar Wilde had attended, and while he wasn't known as a genius, he was known for asking the questions others ignored. He joined the Irish Guards at 19, learned to command a Sherman, and understood better than most what that tank was and wasn't. The Sherman was fast, reliable, and easy to repair, but against German armor, especially the Tiger, it was hopelessly outmatched. The Tiger was a beast, thick armor, deadly accuracy, and a reputation that made Allied crews freeze the moment they saw its silhouette. But Gorman noticed something others overlooked: its weaknesses. It was slow to aim, had terrible close-range visibility, and struggled in tight spaces. A fortress, but only if you fought it the way it expected. So Gorman started whispering a new idea. If you can't beat a Tiger head-on, don't fight it head-on. Veterans laughed. Officers dismissed him. But he kept studying, kept drilling his crew through the impossible scenarios no one wanted to imagine. And one night he wrote 5 words in his notebook. "If gun fails, ram Tiger." It wasn't madness. It was preparation. By the summer of 1944, Gorman was in Normandy, commanding a Sherman he called Ballyragget. He still carried that notebook. And on July 18th, during Operation Goodwood, the largest armored assault the British had launched yet, his theory was about to be tested. The battlefield was chaos. Bombers had turned the German lines into smoking craters, but the Tigers and Panthers had survived by digging in. One by one, Shermans around them burned. Then, from a rise overlooking the fields near Cagny, Gorman saw them. 4 German tanks. One of them a Tiger. He had seconds, no cover, no Firefly, no chance. And then the worst news: their gun jammed. "Gun stuck, we're dead if we stay here," someone yelled. Gorman didn't hesitate. "We're not staying, driver. Full throttle, aim for its flank." The idea was insanity to everyone but him. A 35-ton Sherman versus a 70-ton Tiger. But the Tiger was slow. The Sherman was fast. If they moved now, if they closed the distance before the Tiger got its shot, they might live. They charged. The Tiger swiveled its turret, trying to catch them in its sights. 100 yards, 50 yards. The Tiger fired. The shell missed. A heartbeat later, the Sherman smashed into the Tiger's turret with a deafening roar. They'd done it. They'd rammed a Tiger and survived. The collision disabled both tanks. The crews bilayed out, diving into a roadside ditch, only to come face to face with the German crew they had just rammed. For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody fired. The Germans nodded. The Irish guards nodded back, and both groups slipped away into the smoke. But Gorman wasn't done. He found a nearby Firefly, the only tank with a gun strong enough to kill a Tiger. He climbed aboard, took command, returned to the wreck, and fired. 2 shots. The Tiger was finished. Word spread instantly. A Sherman had rammed a Tiger on purpose, and won. Some called it madness. Gorman called it math. He would later be awarded the Military Cross and his driver nominated for the Military Medal. But more importantly, Gorman shattered the myth of the invincible Tiger. He proved that courage, clarity, and nerve could overcome fear, even when steel couldn't. He didn't just destroy a tank. He destroyed the legend surrounding it.